Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Hivemind After Hours podcast. Here with Justin and Derek. Jacob, unfortunately, went down with the sickness with COVID, so he decided to sit out on this one. But we're still doing it anyway. We are back with a follow-up with Paul Bartolome and the rest of the band. Doing another episode.
Paul Bartolome.
Yeah, true. Doing a follow-up.
I wasn't ready to come in so loud.
Got to start off the episode hot with some energy, you know.
Look, after like the however long, like 30 minutes, we had to just troubleshoot Discord.
Yeah. Love Discord.
Shout out to Discord. Please give us a sponsorship, guys. We all love Discord.
All right, so do you want to say anything, Derek?
No, I was just gonna say, unless Zoom wants to give us a sponsorship, then it's then it's fuck Discord. But
Zoom,
until then,
Zoom just want a partnership to get your shit working.
Yeah, exactly. Need a partnership with Zoom tech support to get my shit going.
Alrighty then. So yeah, for this episode, since we last talked, you guys have released new song "Fractures" and have a new EP coming out in June. So we obviously are going to be talking about that, as well as just general talk about music and anything else that's been happening over the past few months since we last sat down to do an episode. So before we get into it, you can follow us on social media at HiveMindRadio _ Instagram, Twitter.
Who's doing the thing?
HiveMind Radio on YouTube, HiveMind Radio Recap on Spotify. Paul, if you guys want to shout out your Instagrams, now's the time.
You can follow us at Paul Bartolome Music on Instagram. You can follow us at Paul Bartolome Music on Facebook. And you can follow us at Paul Bartolome Music just about anywhere.
Nice and simple. I like to see it.
You can follow us at Paul Bartolome X-rated on OnlyFans.
Now there's the content that people need to see. If all else fails, Paul Bartolome on X videos. Let's go.
Oh, hell yeah.
All right, so I want to start this episode off with something new that I want to do for all of our interviews that we're doing this year. We have our other series where we do our monthly recaps of what the four of us have been listening to. I want to ask you guys, what have you all been listening to lately? What's been in your musical rotation for the past few weeks, past month, this year even?
Ooh, that's a good question. New stuff. Yeah. All right, Papa John's.
I am actually surprisingly excited for the new Papa Roach album. I believe it's in a few weeks. I know it's in April at some point.
Oh, hell yeah.
But the singles have been surprisingly good. I've really been enjoying a lot of them.
It is the 8th, so not really next week, but the week after next.
Jay, what have you been listening to? Well, Papa Roach. Just anything else? Papa Roach. Pretty much. David?
Well, that electrical. Yeah. With them, Ice Nine Kills.
Yeah.
If only Jacob was here, he'd...
Yeah.
He is.
He loves Ice Nine Kills.
Ice Nine Kills.
Oh, hell yeah. Did
you see Bad Wolves release redo on us with Spencer?
I did.
Shit.
To their new album. A few songs on that, that's vibey. Motionless in White's new song took me by surprise. I like that one.
We had to listen back to Avenged.
We listened to some Avenged Sevenfold. We've been listening to a lot this.
But that was like City of Evil album because we couldn't believe the structure for some of the
old
songs.
school, like 9-minute songs.
Yeah.
One was 16 minutes, right? It took a whole journey, whole car journey just to get to the end of it.
Sounds like Periphery.
Yeah. Memphis Mayflower, they keep dropping some bangers.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Drugs released.
Shout out to Matty Mullins, who was going to be on the album. He's not, but he was going to be.
Damn.
That would have been so good. I need that now.
Yeah, that was sick.
I'm pretty sure I can speak for both Derek and I here when there's like serious top 10 album of the year potential for Memphis Mayfire with the strength of every single they've been dropping lately. So
it is, but I looked at the track list and my only worry is like it's going to be good, but my only worry is that like it's a 10 song album and like 8 songs are out or 6 songs out. So it's like it's wicked that they're doing it that way, and it's a different release plan. But then it's just when the album comes out, you're only going to get like 3 new songs.
Yeah.
We've seen it happen a couple times.
Yeah, I was all in reverse. Good. Zombie Fire. They've got a new EP coming out like July, I think. So looking forward to that. Yeah, I think we've just actually named like a million bands that we've been listening to.
Sounds like there's a lot of overlap between what we've all been listening to lately. So
yeah, definitely.
So I guess we can move on from that. I mean, we did kind of reference it with what Memphis May Fire were doing. You guys have with the Reflections EP, you're doing like the multiple EP release thing instead of an album.
Yeah.
Initially, anyway. So I guess just like about like the release structure of new music at this point. Like, what convinced you guys to go with this different release structure instead of just dropping singles into an album? I guess. Like,
it was originally going to be a different release plan, and then we had it all set out and realised that it would just be kind of too hard and also too expensive to promote an album like that. So then I spoke to my manager, called the label, and then we ended up on this idea that, hey, let's split it into 2 EPs, and then at the end of this year, let's just drop the whole fucking album with all the singles and also some new stuff on there as well that's not on the EPs or the singles. Because, I mean, what we've got 4 or 5 singles out right now, but none of them are going to be on the EP. So, but they're going to be on. They're going to be on the album. So, literally, we've got 2 EPs of all new songs coming out, and then the album will come out with the EP in the right order because the track has been muddled a bit. The album will come out in the right order it's meant to be heard, with all the other singles as well, and then some other stuff as well. So you're not just getting, so these songs I've already heard, you're going to get some new shit as well. And we're going to actually be playing, funny enough, we're playing a song off the actual album that's on one of the, not on the EPs, live. It's going to be our opening song, and I think when people hear that, they're going to, it's the heaviest, they're going to be buying that album straight away. So, yeah.
Is it the same one that you teased like a couple of days ago?
Yeah.
That sounded real good.
Fucking brutal.
I threw some. It's like the first song on the album. I threw some low screams on at the end, and then it's like a little. It's a fun one, and the energy's there. Big guitar riff, so definitely one of the pumpier ones. That will be on the album, so lots to look forward to.
I'm very surprised that the 4 singles before before Fractures. So Monster, Medicine, Time Bomb,
and
Criminal. That's right. They all won't be on the EPs. That's good to know, because that was something that I was kind of concerned about going into this. Was, how big was the EP going to be if we already had all those songs out?
So, I can give you an exclusive, probably. I will give you one. I'll give you one. EP number 1 is 5 songs. EP number 2 is 4 songs. The album is, I can't say the album, but it's a lot more than that. And those songs that you mentioned, Criminal, Time Bomb, Medicine, and Monster, will not be on any of the EPs. None of them. They will be on the album, as well as some other stuff. So what's that? I mean, with just the EPs alone, that's what, 9 songs?
Yeah.
9 songs. And then you had the 4 singles in, and then you add in
14, 15 songs.
It's like 15, 16 songs, on the album. Maybe more. We'll see. And then obviously Fractures is on the EP, because that's obviously like the lead single for the EP.
Yeah.
Right, of course. You wouldn't announce the EP and be like, yeah, the song's not on it, but it's there.
Right. And then we actually have another single that no one knows about dropping next month. There's an exclusive for you. That's off the EP. And then EP number 2, we aren't going to announce. We're just going to randomly one day soon, after this one drops, we're just going to randomly drop a single with a pre-save link, and it's going to be like, right, this comes out like next week. So that's going to be fun. No one's going to know when that is. We're just going to drop it out of nowhere. So that'll be good.
I love that. I love that energy so much. Just fuck it.
That's going to take a lot of confidence.
Would do that.
And yeah, it's a good song. It features. We'll say it features. We spoke about him last time. It features Chiarelli from Conquer Divide, the single that's going to drop for the second EP.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yes.
That one.
It is a very different song for us. So that, especially as a single, that's going to be, because this EP, like, it's different for her as well. Like, it's we weren't sure if we were going to make it a single, and then when I said it to the label, they're like, that needs to be the single for the second. Just do one single for the second EP, make it that. And we were all like, okay, because the chorus is so big that we're like, it makes sense. And obviously with this, like the next single coming out for us on this EP is just super drivey, 2 guitar solos, huge riff, huge drums, real catchy chorus, and then like a heavy bit at the end. So then to go into a single that we're going to do for EP2, it's going to be so different and so cool going into that. So yeah, that's the plan. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
I really like what you guys are doing with features, because I feel like a lot of bands, they'll do like maybe 1 or 2 features on an album. I feel like 2 is rare even. It's usually just 1 or none. So to see you guys like just reaching out there, like grabbing as many features as you can almost that like could add a lot to your music. Like, I really fucking enjoy that. I want to see more features out there, and especially like with some of the names that you guys have been bringing in, like features that don't get enough spotlight, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, the first album had my first album, Gravity, before it was a band, had like, I don't know, 10 features. The second album had like 6, and this album has 9. So there's a lot of features.
Yeah, the majority of them have been more because we listened to them growing up. It was like, really cool to actually do something.
Like Craig Mabbitt, Telly Smith, JT Tolles, Chiarelli, Vidal Riley, a UK boxer and rapper. Philip Strand from Normandy. Danny Warsnop, Kellen Quinn, more on this album.
More on this album coming eventually, TM.
We've got someone on this album that is no one's going to expect when we announce that on EP number 2 that is from a straight up brutal metal band. And no one's going to, because when we go from Chiarelli as the single and then we go to this is the second song on that EP, people are like, what? That is the heaviest shit we have done. Like the ending of this song. When you start the song, you won't expect it because it doesn't sound like the kind of song to have it. And then, I hit up this metal band, really heavy metal band that are doing super sick. And then I was like, I've got a 40-second part and I need you to scream your bollocks off. And he was like, oh, I'm down. He loved the song because it's so like, it's so vibey. And then the chorus is quite like Fall Out Boyish, but then it goes into this just disgusting low tune. The tempo drops as well, and then everything drops down, and he comes in with some. That's gonna be cool.
Sounds really good. Yeah. I know. Kind of piggyback on the praise that Jake said about your features. Fractures in general did some really good blending with your guys' style, with the style and like the heaviness of Dave Escamilla. I know Jacob, I know he's not here, but he said that was his favorite song. And you guys did really well because most features just have a really hard time kind of blending both styles together and just kind of make it seem like they're only adding just their voice, not like the instrumentals or anything like that really fit the person who was featuring. But I think you guys did that amazingly well in Fractures.
Yeah, Fractures is one of our favourites. It's got the biggest chorus, and obviously I worked with Dave when he left Crown the Empire, and we had our own band going that kind of started my whole career with Bad Fortune, and then stayed in touch ever since. We were going to go for someone else for that song. They were going to charge a ridiculous amount. It was a female. That's what I'm saying. Sick. Yeah, and then I was like, oh shit, Dave. And I was talking to him, I sent him the song. I was like, give me them screams, because all these fans want him to scream. And he wasn't screaming, so I was like, I can scream on this then. And then all these fans are loving it. And, I mean, we're not even a month into the release, and it's already almost on 100k streams. It got on some. We were in a top 50 charts for Shazam, which I didn't even know Shazam had a fucking chart. I thought that was just when you like
still around.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was just when you press play on a song to see what the song is. I didn't know there was charts. Yeah. That's mad. We got tons of playlists for that. We actually got some huge actual like Spotify playlists with All New Metal, which was a big playlist for us. There's 500,000 followers on that, so that was a huge help for us.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we were just below Bad Omens, Hollywood Undead. We were like 23rd on it, and there was only like 80 songs. But damn, like we only just went on it. We stayed at number 23 on that place for a while, which means people were listening to it. So yeah, it's been unreal so far with Fractures, and it's doing well. And I think that could be one of the biggest of the whole album, to be honest, with the vibe.
And I think something too. I guess I don't know if you guys have thought about this at all, or how you guys find music, even just with Jake and Justin here. But like, I know sometimes I'll go to an artist page and be like, all right, appears on, and go check out like, oh, I want to check out this song specifically because it has a feature from this artist. And so I feel like, with, at least from my perspective, if I were to go to when the full album finally drops and I'm looking at this track list, I'm like, oh, I maybe, I like Davis Camilla, so I'm going to listen to this song. I'm going to go to the track list. Oh shit, here's like 9 other features from similar bands that I like to listen to. I feel like having all those features together is almost like a return on investment in a way, because it brings more people in and makes them want to go listen to the rest of the tracks and like the rest of the band's material as well. So, I mean, I don't know if that's...
Yeah, no, definitely exposure. It puts us on, like, if you go on to Danny Warstop and then we're like, go on his appears on, we're like straight there on the
Yeah. I definitely discover like some smaller bands doing that before. Like I know Philip Strand is definitely one of the ones that I scour through every once in a while.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. And then, and if you go to like people like, there's one artist on this album that he gave him a massive fucking deal. We'd already signed the contract and he's label like, you can't do that. Like, you can't be on his opinion. Saw the contract, they're like shit, 'cause it was before he signed them. Then that was a big issue, and then we're still on his appears on it. We're the only one there, so go through the page with it. I'm still meant to sing on a song for them. I'll be on it soon. Well, I'm contractually obliged to, unless they pay me out. See, I'll just take money at the point.
I was about to say, I wouldn't complain too much about a buyout. I don't know. It's all fun and games to get that check.
I'll just take the buyout. I think I'll take the big fat check at this point.
Exactly.
But yeah, you go through so much shit with these artists and stuff. But there's only really been 2 to 3 that have been kind of a nightmare to deal with. But the rest have been just spot on. And it's actually like crazy because like Danny and Kellen and Craig, like the biggest names are like, have been some of the easiest to work with. Philip was easy to work with. I've spoken to him quite a lot since as well. Yeah, no, shout out to all the artists we've, even the artists that weren't easy to work with, shout out to them as well for even taking the time and doing it, because they still killed the part. So
Right.
I feel like some of the bigger ones, like especially Kellen Quinn, he's done so many features at this point that I feel like he's probably got it down to like a pretty professional standard. So
dude, that guy's
probably easy to work with him.
So many fucking features. I didn't know he'd done so many features. And then my manager was like, you got Kellen Quinn, that's so sick, we'll push the shit out of that. And then it came up that like a month before he'd done another song called Time Bomb. And we're like, fucking hell. He's done it. But I guess Des didn't get in Billboard. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Shout out to that band. Yeah,
He's actually decent.
Is it? I just know he's done like 50, 100 features. Well, then Craig Mabbitt, he's done 1 million features as well. But hey, I mean, I've done features myself, and if you go on my peers on, there is so much on my peers on. It's just some of it good, some of it not so good. But hey, you got to make a living, right?
Yeah,
Facts. Same with the buyout. Just get your bag, get the check, and go. Like,
you got to in this industry. You got.
So I know you guys mentioned, like when we were talking about the features, that some of the songs that you've done have been like different directions, I guess, for the band and for the artists that have featured on it. So in terms of, this musical direction for the upcoming EP and then the one that's going to drop afterwards in the album, compared to past releases, what can we expect? Like, is it generally heavier? What kind of, did you go into any genres that you haven't before? That sort of thing.
This album has so many more breakdowns. I got more like drums on this, and because I listen to Ice Nine Kills and a lot of like heavy shit. Paul was like, just do some drum stuff here, and then it always turned into a fucking breakdown, and there's so many now. Yeah, escalated like a motherfucker.
It's definitely more heavy than the previous stuff, and it's definitely more consistent, coherent direction. Yeah, for sure. The last album was more versatile, but then with this album, we wanted to go in a clear direction. So we're literally sticking to like the hard rock sound. And then obviously we've got some stuff that's a bit more experimental on there, but it's definitely more consistent, a lot more energy. The aim of this album was to just be like we did a tour, and then after that tour, I was like, oh, so this works live, and this does that. So I wanted to write a live album, and that's what this shit is. Like, a song we're gonna be playing on tour that to end the fucking show is just super fast, like the fastest song we've done.
It's such
so crazy solo breakdown.
You guys remember like Almost Easy by Ben Sevenfold? There's like the double right thing in it.
Yes.
It's got that in it, and it's just so pumping.
Got some screams, got some real big chanty chorus, and then the energy just doesn't stop. The chorus just keeps going, loads of double kick, and yes, this album's got a lot more feel, a lot more energy, and it's just a lot more consistent than previous attempts.
That's good to hear, because I still remember when Justin introduced me to you guys with the Streaming Through the Radio album, and I enjoyed my handful of songs off there, but definitely felt like a bit of an uneven mix on, like, you were just experimenting with that, I feel like. So I'm excited to hear consistency.
My most consistent album. No, I'm joking. Like, you know. Yeah, the Scream for the Radio album for me, I felt like more, because it was like I just signed to a label, I just signed to a management. It was kind of like, look, let's just show the world what I can do while we put on that. And then, like, we can do pop stuff, we can do rock stuff, we can do more punky stuff. So it was, for me, it was just like, I just want to make a full album, because obviously that was just me at that point. Mm-hmm. I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to make it, like, anything I want. If I want to do a pop song, I will. And it was good in that way, because obviously it banged and got, like, a good few million streams and all that kind of stuff. But, yeah, it was fun, and then it obviously put us on the map to be able to fit on any tour we wanted at that point. And then obviously COVID hit. But if it hadn't have hit, we could have done a pop tour. I know we were looking at... submitting for, like, there was like Adam Lambert tours and stuff, and then we did the Calling tour, and then there was heavy rock stuff. So we could have gone any direction, and I mean we still could.
Even now, fit on anything.
Yeah, because of Screaming, we could do any tour, which again is just exposure in it. So yeah, and that's the other thing. I enjoy pop music. I enjoy rock music. So it's like I just wanted to do that on an album. But then with this album, yeah, for me the last album now was more like a compilation album. This is what I can do. This is like almost like a greatest hits of this is all the different styles I can do, and then this actual album.
Yeah, the labeling Streaming Through the Radio kind of is like a greatest hits type of thing, where it's like just showcasing everything that you're made of, and now with this album, just like trying to refine what really worked.
Yeah, and with that, like we always say, like now we've done that, and I've got that out of my system. This album is like the direction of the band. Now it's a band, and this is the sound to expect going forward. And there's still like there's one song on this EP called Hypocrite, which is probably the most poppy song, but it's still very dark and heavy at the same time. So it's like the verses are quite poppy, but in a very different way to how Scream for the Radio had poppy songs. It's a very dark vibe. It's more vibey, and kind of how Bad Omens do it, I guess, like that kind of dark, vibey, but still heavy at the same time kind of feel. So yeah, we've definitely found our sound, and we're going to continue in that direction.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And you're hitting all the buzzwords for me. I'm hearing Bad Omens, I'm hearing guitar solos, I'm hearing breakdowns. I'm like, yeah, I'm sold. I'm entirely sold.
I'm hearing pop rock is like the most poppy song, and I'm just seeing like Derek's eyes perk up through the monitor here.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's like, yeah, this album definitely has it all. Like the next single has 2 guitar solos, a breakdown, doesn't stop going. This next single was where I first dipped the toe in going heavy. And then when we did it, we're like, oh, and then we ended up doing this song on the next EP. And it was like, oh, we've just gone full out now. So, yeah, this album has it all.
You mentioned bringing some of these newer songs onto the tour, and that you're going to announce that tour here soon. What is that looking like? Are we getting, like, is it a European tour? Are we getting a US tour? You know, could you say who you're bringing along, if anybody?
So it's going to be just a short little UK run, just to get out on the road, because we've had so many stuff get cancelled, and we only did one UK run, and our demographic is like a crazy percentage American. So it's like we want to build the UK, and that was our plan after that first UK and Europe tour. But then obviously we had the Dead Girls tour, we had the Danny tour, we had the rescheduled Dead Girls tour, we had 2 more tours we were speaking about doing, and they're all in the UK and Europe just to build the UK fan base. Then that got cancelled, so we just want to kind of get out and play to, I mean, we're from the UK, so we want to kind of build the fan base here a bit.
Yeah, definitely.
And yes, we're just going to do a mini, like, I think it's like just a little one 1-week run at the end of May in the UK, which is going to be super fun. Yeah, it's going to be cool. We've got no actual like support like directly. We're just going to have loads of cool like openers come up, local openers, and letting the venues kind of pick their best openers and letting them come on tour with us and kind of they play their show. Then we go to the next one. We have more openers and it's going to be fun actually. I think that's going to be a real fun vibe and it's kind of going back to like the basics, right? Like going back to like the old school way of doing it and like I guess a lot of people like we're kind of at a certain level now, I guess, where people wouldn't expect that. But like I said, in the UK we don't have a huge fan base, so we want to just do it like old school and turn up and we're headlining, so that's going to be cool and meet all of the other bands and have a wicked kick-ass show. So it's going to be a good tour, and we've got Danny Warsnop's solo band guitarist. He's going to come on and fill in for guitar for that tour as well on rhythm. And then we're in talks for a US tour just before Inkfest. I have a call on Monday about that, but I don't know for sure yet. So at the moment, we've got this UK headliner run in May, and then we've got Inkfest.
The redemption of Inkfest.
Oh, right. So, we literally, what was it, a year ago, we paid like 14 grand for these visas.
Yeah.
Oh, they've only just come through. They're like, oh, you've got your visas. I'm like, oh, fucking thank you very much. So at least a year late, but hey, at least we're going to play this festival. And I mean, this festival's, I think, personally, for our sound, a better lineup. Even though Slipknot's like the GOAT, but this is a better lineup for our sound because you've got like 3 Days Grace, Papa Roach, Falling in Reverse, I Prevail, Korn, Breaking Benjamin. It's just more our sound, isn't it? Like the hard rock thing.
Yeah, definitely.
So I just can't wait to get back out on the road, boys. What do you think?
100%. Like to go from doing that fucking tour where you got like a sold out show in Paris and shit to suddenly COVID's hit, everyone get in your fucking bedrooms. That's it. It's like
And Jay, you've never done a tour yet.
No, I don't. My first one, but even like practice recently, like especially this week.
Yeah,
it's just the energy and we had in the room.
Oh, it's
just
so good.
It's just like counting down the days now.
Yeah, 100%. And it's like it's crazy because Jay's as our bass player, his first actual live event was going to be Inkfest, and we thought, fuck. We're like, because also bear in mind we're headlining stage 3. We're trying to sort Kellen to come out and sing Time Bomb with us, all that kind of shit, and then we were like, oh shit, that's your first show, is a headliner on stage 3 at Inkfest. Good luck.
That would have been quite the trial by fire.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so at least if we can do a little... And look, the UK run, like I said, we haven't got like a huge fan base in the UK because we've mainly been focusing in America because of... I know we're UK, but labels in America, all the features are American. I started out in America with Dave Escamilla doing that band, so that was all based in America. So even though we're from the UK, we haven't got a huge UK fan base. So they're not the shows aren't going to be like crazy packed out and all sold out, and it's just gonna be a fun vibe though. Like I don't give a fuck if we get like 10-20 people turn up and like, oh, you guys are sick. Okay, cool. We're slowly building up the UK fan base, so we're taking it back to we've got no egos here. We're not expecting to play to sold out shows in the UK when we've not built up the UK yet. So we're looking forward to just getting in the tour van, getting in the road for that week, just driving around, playing some cool shows in some small venues and playing with some awesome local acts, and just getting these new songs out there and almost treating it like a live rehearsal for Inkfest.
Yeah. Like putting in the reps to like get ready for the big show type of thing.
Yeah.
100%. Even though the tour isn't exactly a rehearsal, it's like a rehearsal for the real big one, you know?
Make sure Jay doesn't die at Inkfest. Get him out there. Get his practice going.
Yeah, Jay's been playing bass. So
2 years.
Yeah, Jay's not actually like been a musician all his life. Like me and David, and we've been playing music forever. Whereas Jay, I walked into his bedroom one day and was like, "We're doing a music video. I want a band look. Here's a bass guitar. You got 2 weeks. Learn it." And he was just like, "Oh fuck yeah, I'm down." And then did Criminal with Danny, and then it was like, "You got 3 months to learn this song." And we did the Medicine Shoot. Like, "You got 3 months to learn this song." And then I was like, "Right, we're going away to do an album. You're playing bass in it." And then we decided to do it as a band, and now he's got 3 months to learn a whole set, our longest headlining set yet, and for Inkfest. So how do you feel about that, Joe?
No pressure.
No pressure.
Yeah. Sounds like some pretty sick plans for the tour, though. Just like getting back into the swing, because like these past years have been kind of fucked, to be honest. So just like seeing live music slowly creep its way back into like normality again, it's exciting.
What do you think about it, Jay? As far as like actually coming on tour and Inkfest and all that, what do you think about your first shit?
I generally can't wait. I'm so excited. I think as well, just to be on stage with you two, like I think it's the vibe. It was like a criminal video when Danny walked between all of us. I think there was one moment we all just turned and looked at each other, just like, "Holy shit, is this actually happening?"
Yeah, 100%. Well, I turned around and looked at the stripper who was just twerking on the floor.
It took me out.
Be sick, and then we've obviously got Casper Jensen, who is Danny Warsnop's like solo tour and solo band. He's also his musical director, I think, for his solo stuff. He's coming on tour and he's playing Inkfest with us as well. So he's like, obviously we lost our rhythm guitarist, so we've got him instead. We've got a big Danish man coming to fill in with us. Beautiful bastard, and we've done an acoustic version of the whole album that will also be seeing the light of day possibly next year.
It sounds nice.
And it is an epic version of the whole album we've done with him, we've done as a band. We're going to be talking about that next year because that's going to be a whole thing in itself. Might have some features on that as well. Probably we will, because it's me and we always have features. So it's going to be sick.
Oh, that's awesome. I think if nobody else is sold, you've sold me on the album in this upcoming process, because I'm just hearing like thing after thing after thing that's checking all the boxes in my head for like what I want personally from new music in terms of like features, song structures, different versions of songs. So I think it's really neat that you guys have taken so many creative liberties and directions with everything.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, the freedom to do so, I guess, that I feel like a lot of bands aren't willing to take those same risks, and I wish more bands would, and I'm hoping that some of the bands of the people you're getting features from, right, would take notes from you guys.
I mean, I guess we can take more risks because no one really knows who we are. We've got nothing to lose, because then you've got like a few thousand people go, well, shit, and you're like, oh, fuck you then, we'll move on to the next. No, but I think like at the end of the day, whenever I write this stuff, and especially with this album, I didn't like write it for anyone but me. Like kind of like it was like my diary through COVID almost, like the lyrics for some of the songs and like some of the topics. It was just like honestly to get me through COVID, and that's kind of how I lyrically did it. And like the style, and I was like, oh, we should do a song like this, and oh, I want a song like that, and then I'd hear a song. And I'd be like, fuck, we need a song like that. And then
the amount of times we were sat up till like 4 a.m. just doing random shit.
Me and Dave were sat up and we'd just be...
you turn to me like, oh, full-on Disney orchestral for this.
Yeah, there's one song on this. There's a huge rock, like, ballad kind of song that just has my fiance on it, actually.
It is. Can't wait for it.
It's the highest I've ever sung in my life. Like, I almost blew my eyeball out.
Jeez.
And we turned the ending into like this giant, like, David did some huge orchestrals and made it into like, it's almost like a Disney song, and then it goes into like this big guitar solo, and it's like, and then we've got the huge gang vocal part.
It's got a big 30 seconds to Mars.
Big 30 seconds to Mars feel. It's a huge 30 seconds
they did that last.
Yeah, like the old school 30. Imagine
the best 30 seconds to Mars. Yeah,
imagine an old school 30 seconds to Mars mixed with Arskin's ballads and our sound. It's that. It's fucking epic. So this album
quite the combination of combinations.
Yeah, and it works so well, and it's a lot of people's favourites. Yeah, and I really pushed myself. Like, this album, I pushed myself as well, and everyone's pushed themselves instrumentally as well. Like the drums are crazy for you.
That one song.
I mean, Jay, like when I first wrote the bass on this album, Jay wasn't actually in the band, so I was like, oh, because we were screaming for the radio when I went to Matt Good. Like the drums on that album and the bass are all fake because I dropped like 10k to go to Matt Good for 1 week to finish an album. You have 1 week to do an album, you're not messing around doing drums and bass. He programmed it, he's got such good sounds and expensive sounds that it sounds real anyway. So this album, I was like, no, everything has to be perfect and live. So we were writing like the craziest bass riffs, and then Jay was like, "I'll come in the band," and I was like, "Oh shit!" And then I'm like sending him the set for Inkfest. He's like, "What the fuck is this?" He's like, "Is this a guitar solo?" And I was like, "Nah, man, that's your bass, mate." So yeah, we've pushed ourselves, and vocally, I've pushed myself to sing the highest I've sung, the lowest I've sung. We've got gang vocals with all of the band members on for the first time, big chants, and has a real arena sound to it.
It is good.
So you mentioning that a lot of the writing for this helped you get through COVID, I feel like Fractures, at least the way that I interpreted the lyrics for that, was that, it's about persevering through life and whatever it brings, and like getting back up again if life ever knocks you down, that sort of thing. And I guess I just wanted to know, like, what would be the meaning behind, the tracks on the EPs, the album, like lyrically and personally to the three of you. Like, what does this album mean to you guys?
You guys start. So I wrote the lyrics. You guys start with what it means to you, because obviously it means different.
Obviously, Paul being my brother and stuff, I saw some of the tough shit he had to go through. So then when I hear the words he's written, it's like a proper emotional experience. Because I was like, with us not having any input in the lyrics, it's very hard for us to say that. But like knowing Paul and knowing what he went through, it does hit fucking hard when you hear some of the lines. There's so many lines on the album that you can genuinely just get tattooed, and I think so many people will just resonate with them.
I think. I was just going to say. A lot to you boys anyway, doesn't it? Because it's the first one you're on, and it feels like an actual band. The next single, David, our drummer, who's been talking, is literally rapping on it.
Like, when we did the Cooling tour, there's one song that I rapped on for that as well.
While playing drums.
While playing drums. So I do the rapping while playing drums. Always gets a sick reaction. So we did it again for this one.
Jay?
To me, I'd say a lot of it I heard you recording as well during COVID, because you were for the majority of it.
In a small bedroom.
You were right upstairs.
Gone from Matt Good's studio to a...
I literally heard all the songs go from like demos to start building and turning into what they are now. And for me, I think this album sort of represents growth. Like it's starting off somewhere dark and unhappy, and sort of working hard, not quitting, and getting to where you want to be.
Yeah. And for me, lyrically, there's a lot. It's the most connected I've felt to music, because the last album, I like the music. I love the album, but I've never been connected to the music. If you know what I mean? Like, there's a song, like, there's not actual personal songs on Scream for the Radio. It's like just cool songs that I like to write. And I love the songs, but they're not personal songs to me. Whereas this one is all like actual, like the first time I've written about actual topics and personal things. Like there's a song on the album, on the EP, this next one coming out, this next EP, called Anxiety, You Just Don't Get It. And that song just was the first song lyrically I wrote in lockdown. So that was like just a huge, like, the first time I wrote that song, I was like, okay, well, this is where the album's going. And Monster was written, then Time Bomb, and then there's like a song like While We're Still Young that's got a real, it's on the next EP, but it's got a real happy, upbeat sound. But it's really just like escapism. Like, from all the shit that was going on in the world, everything was so dark and hard that it was like, shit, man, this stuff's tough. Like, we're trying to pay bills and we can't tour and we can't do anything musically, but we're trying to still cover bills and do this, and we can't go out and we can't see each other. And so then I took the different approach and did used While We're Still Young as escapism, and did like oh man, imagine when while we used to be young and we were like, no money worries, and you could just no cares, and then that's the vibe I took, and it's like now this big festival banger that everyone loves. And we actually we were close, and then scheduling again didn't work out, but Danny from Hollywood Undead, I sent him the album, and I said pick a song to sing on, and he picked that one. We didn't end up making it happen because he's scheduling and with their stuff and we didn't get time to do it, and which sucks. But Danny Rose Murillo, shout out to him. That I was not expecting him to pick that song, but that song seems to resonate with a lot of people as well. Shout out to Danny Rose Murillo. Feature coming soon on that. We'll definitely get one going soon. But yeah, I think the album is just very personal. and it's the first time I felt connected, and having the boys involved means a lot more as well.
Well, that's awesome. And I think that you're, it's one thing to say it, but I feel like we can really hear it in the way that you guys talk about it. I guess, at least that I can, that it comes through that you guys are passionate about this one. And even just talking about past material, now when we did our last interview, like the change in tone almost is like, it's palpable. So
yeah, I think the main thing is like with Scream for Radio, I had an absolute blast, and it was actually cool, like doing that whole experience and going to Matt Good and being in a fucking ridiculously expensive studio with the best sound and the best sound engineer pretty much out there, and one of the best producers out there. And Matt Good's a legend. But with this one, I didn't want that at all. I wanted the complete opposite. Like I said, I set up a small room at Jay's, like a tiny, like cupboard room, pretty much, where I was just wrote all the demos, and it was small. I wrote all the demos, recorded there. I didn't want anyone else to produce this album. Like, I wanted it to be us. Like, this whole album had to be us. Like, because of how personal it was. It would feel weird because with Matt Good, with Heaven and Holy Water, and he did a lot of production. Like, he changed a lot of stuff, and, which was perfect because it taught me a lot about songwriting. But with this one, because I've kind of learned that now from Matt Good, and that's something I'll always take away from that experience, was actually learning this doesn't need to be that long and this can be cut down here. But with this album, I didn't want no one else touching it as far as producing. Like, because it's so personal, I didn't want someone going, "That."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah, I didn't want someone going, "Take that out," or "This needs to be cut down," because no, I don't want it cut down. Like, this is meant to be like that, and if you don't like it, that's fine. But like I said, I wrote this album for me, and this is our album. So if people don't like it, that's fine. But nothing can be changed as far as we're concerned, because it all has to tell the story, and certain parts of each song helped us get through different things. So especially me. So you take one part out, you're just taking away that whole growth and that process. So with this one, producing it ourselves, me and David produced it.
But even with you, like, putting the trust in me to write the drums, as Matt did the drums for the last one.
Yeah,
I get to put my
your stamp on it,
flavor into it, and
Jay gets to add different stuff to the bass.
Drums are more like I would do it. So even like the simple drum beat changes how the song goes and stuff. And for Paul to give me the trust after everything on the last album being like him directing it, to just put the faith into me to do the strings and orchestral shit like that was really cool, and it was a really fun experience.
Yeah, and then producing it like all together and just us, and then
So I think like the behind the scenes we've got shows so much.
Yeah.
Of how we took this project and sort of made it all for all three of us.
Yeah, and we've got that coming out. We've got loads of videos of that, and we after COVID kind of went away a little bit, and we had that bit where we weren't in lockdown. We then rented out like this giant house in the middle of nowhere, and we all just went away and we set up 2 studios, and we just did it ourselves. And we hired a camera, and we got loads of little behind the scenes coming out on Instagram and social media, and it literally was just us. And the only person that did anything else was Ernie Schlenkovic, who is Taylor Larson's assistant and engineer. And I got friends with him, and he offered to mix the album and master it. And I said to him at the start, I was like, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be real picky with this album, though. Because I don't think this is the first album he's actually mixed under his name. Obviously, he's like engineered for Taylor for years, but this was the first album he's mixed himself, and it's his name on it. And I said, I'm going to be real picky, and he was fine with it. He understood how personal it was, and he added like some things here and there that worked and some things that didn't. But yeah, I mean, he was very understanding of how it is, and this album literally is just us, and then mixed by Ernie, who absolutely killed it.
The first couple of songs, we were having to send it by email, because even as brothers, we couldn't go see each other.
Yeah, we couldn't see each other.
His bedroom, I was in my bedroom, we were just sending each other tracks.
Yeah, for you to write drums to, you'd send it back. I'd do vocals. I'd send it to shit.
Yeah, that was like difficult.
That was difficult, yeah. That was really difficult. So it's been a difficult 2 years. Got through in the end, and like I said, Ernie, who mixed the album, absolutely fucking smashed it. And I mean, not bad. I know he's engineered albums for loads of huge artists for Taylor, but not bad for his first album solely mixed by him to have done what it is and have a billboard up in Times Square, New York City to promote it, and Billboard and all that. He was super stoked on that. So yeah, we've got a good little team going, and that's all we need, and that's what we'll be going forward.
I actually want to talk about the Times Square Billboard because I have not seen many bands in this type of scene get a billboard like that. So like, how did that even come to be? I guess, like, was that just like a bucket list idea of like, fuck it, we just want to have our music up on a billboard in Times Square, let's just do it? Or like, what went into getting that happening?
Basically, was my manager messaged me and we were talking. We're like, oh, we need to. How do we promote this first EP? We want to make a splash. We put so much work in, and we done this and that. And then I fucking sent him a joke saying, oh, we should just get a big ass billboard somewhere. And then he was like, oh shit, I think we can get that, you know. And then I was like, and I thought it was gonna be like some shitty little bus stop somewhere.
We got a canvas of it.
We got a canvas in the studio right now of that shit. 'Cause it's unreal. It's like a life goal thing.
Remember when you told us all in the chat and we were like, no, surely not.
No, I just dropped it. I dropped it in the group chat, going, boys, we're getting a billboard in Times Square, New York. And when my manager told me that it was New York and Times Square, I was expecting some shitty bus stop in like some random like petrol station in nowhere. Yeah, Black Alley, like nowhere. And then he goes, oh yeah, boys, we got peak hours in a prime location in Times Square, New York City. I was like, what the fuck? He's like, it's gonna run for a whole week. Make sure you can get someone there to take a picture, otherwise you're going to miss it. I was like, shit. So, yeah, that was literally it. It was literally just a joke, and then it happened, and then I think we're aiming for another one for the second EP, but that's going to be in London, Piccadilly, which Piccadilly in London is just basically Times Square, innit? It's basically but it's UK and Europe's Times Square, basically.
Yeah.
So, we're going to get another one, but yeah, damn, I mean, that's something I'll never forget, and managing to get that picture was just unreal, and to say we've got that, and it's a huge billboard as well.
The room we're studio, when you look around, you look at fucking things on the wall, and you're like, shit, we were just like doing shit in our bedroom.
Yeah. It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, Times Square is just unreal, and that's something that we can always say we had, and it's such a big billboard. It's not even small. It's like it's huge. So I was like, what the fuck? So
the Uncharted trailer running next to it.
Yeah, the Uncharted trailer was right next to it, and I was gutted because the week after they had all the Batman promo up right next to where ours was. I was like, shit, we could have had a picture with Batman.
Just Photoshop it. Just Photoshop it. Find another photo of that Batman stuff. Just Photoshop it. You know, it was real. You can pass it off.
100%. So, yeah, no, that was absolutely unreal.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's like, I can totally relate to that being just like a super cool like bucket list kind of dream thing to just see it come together.
Definitely, yeah, it definitely was.
So yeah, with that, I think we've covered most of the stuff we want to talk about. Is there anything else that you guys want to mention before we start wrapping this one up? Any other funny stories related to anything we've talked about that you haven't had a chance to say yet?
Floor is open to y'all.
I've just been informed by someone who's better at PR than me, our drummer. we have some new merch just dropped, which
is the softest shit.
It is soft. We've got hoodies that have just come online. We've got t-shirts. We're getting some tank tops and all that good shit coming. But right now we've got the hoodies, the reflection hoodies, and the reflection t-shirts. So you can go on to legendshop.com, go on Paul Bartolome, and it's the Reflections t-shirt and hoodie. It is so good. The quality is so good as well. It's the best merch we've done. So that's a shout out for that. And
shout out for that too, because I did actually pick up a shirt and it's really nice.
Oh, yeah, man. This is where you're. All right, prove it. You got to put a picture on Instagram.
Yeah, I can do it right now. I think I still have the picture saved.
Oh, put it on Instagram and tag me. This is where it's just like not our merch, it's someone else's. Like, oh, I thought it was you.
Yeah, whoever sent you guys, I picked up around the same time I got I think an album that same time.
Yeah. What one is that? Is that the Reflections one or is that the old one?
That's the Reflections one.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Well, yeah, tag us in, put a picture up and tag us in that on Insta. We'll share that shit. That'd be sick.
Yeah, we'll do.
Yeah, it's going to be super cool. Obviously, we're going on tour, which is going to be cool. May 23rd, we hit the road. We've got Inkfest July 15th. We're headlining stage 3, baby. Possible tour in the US before Inkfest as well. I've got a call on Monday. And yeah,
your baby turning up.
I've got a baby on the way in September.
That's
straight on the car, fuck it. Just
straight on the protein shakes. Muffin says gains like titty milk and a protein shake. And then
All right, Eric, we caused Derek to have a stroke. We did it.
Dude, nothing gets gains like titty milk and a protein shake. Yeah, that's.
I am telling you right now, I'm trying that shit.
Look,
To put on a team.
new merch idea. Well, I mean, look, if being a musician doesn't work out, you could always be a nutritionist. I think that's some solid advice right there.
I mean, I am one course away from being a certified level 3 diploma personal trainer and nutritionist anyway. So that is actually my professional advice. Try titty milk.
I've stagnated at the gym. I'm not seeing any progress. Oh yeah, have you tried titty milk? Like, I don't know.
It is like steroids. You take one sip off the nip and you're there. Anyway, what were we saying? Oh, new single coming out next month. New EP in June 3rd. Another EP on the way. Then the album end of the year. Get your titty milk now. Let's go.
Oh yeah, now there's you can get the Paul Bartolome like formula bottles coming out. You're branching out, right? Look,
I mean, I don't know if she's going to agree to that, but I can ask her if she wants to do that.
if you, I'm telling you right now, if you put out a shaker bottle with that shit on it, I am on it in an instant. Get me in there.
Which rent out my fiance.
That's what I thought you were saying. I was like, sell her milk on.
Come round, suck on the tit. Would you want 5 beers? Like a fucking tit conveyor belt.
Holy shit. Oh, God,
See, I just spoke to our PR manager at Jacob. I think we need to.
What do you want me to
Derek
do?
or something?
Oh God, I'm crying.
I do business. I got that. So yeah, I'm gonna be a responsible dad. Bring it on.
Raising the next Mr. Olympia, I think.
Damn right. So yeah, that's what a way to end the podcast, eh?
Yes,
There's no better way to end than with titty milk.
Yeah. I don't think there's anywhere else we can go after I've said that now. I think
No. I think we've really fallen down the hole at this point. I don't know if there's any getting out of it.
Yeah, I think just forget everything we've spoken about and just focus on the titty milk. You watch now. I'm going to start my own business now. By the end of the year, Paul's Titty Milk coming soon.
Paul's Titty Milk.
Oh yeah, shit, not my titty milk.
My God.
Yeah, what do I want to feed my baby? Yeah, Paul's Titty Milk. Like, what?
Holy shit.
Get a free digital album with Paul's Titty Milk.
Oh God.
Oh, I love that. This took a turn.
This got real interesting real fast.
We somehow dug ourselves even deeper. What the fuck?
I support
ourselves. Derek did.
I am putting it on the record. I support Paul's Titty Milk. That's my official statement.
And with that, I think we should wrap this up. Once again, thank you guys for joining us again to have this chat. Really fun. Very cool to dive into the process of the EPs and the upcoming album and the new song Fractures and all that. I hope anyone that's been listening enjoyed this episode. Thank you for listening. And we'll be back with more after hours episodes and band interviews throughout the year, so definitely stay tuned for more.